2 of the Punch newspaper. 80 billion naira money laundering. FG places Yahaya Bello on watch list. Immigration alerts DSS.
Nigeria is a beauty to watch and observe. And this doesn't have anything to do with the government itself. As a people, the way we do our things is funny. So what happens now? A former governor is holed up in his house. The EFCC come for him. He refuses to come down like a gentleman and submit himself. Had he come down, they'll take him to the headquarters, probably grant him bail in self-recognizance, and he will have his day in court. So he stays put. Not long after, his predecessor shows up. Now, the predecessor is supposed to have immunity. It's one of the things I'm going to be talking to Candy Johnson, discuss with Candy Johnson tomorrow. That what exactly does immunity? What exactly is it? Because I'm surprised that the EFCC couldn't, and they had the warrant, they couldn't move in and do the needful. In spite of the man's immunity, you give him a chance to excuse himself, and if he refuses to do so, you do the needful. Why do people think that because you have some so-called immunity, you can hold everybody to ransom? And we allowed this thing happen repeatedly. Wike did the same thing when he was governor in Port Harcourt. I forgot who he did it for. And what are we talking about here? We're talking about, at least the most polite word we can use is misappropriation. Money missing. The people's money running into billions. So that was what I was referring to yesterday when we were talking about Yoruba Nation or not. Look at governor level, you leave your state house to go and evacuate your predecessor, who is found wanting in situations concerning money that you would even need to operate. Now, does that make sense? Does that make sense? We must find a way of fine-tuning, and that's part of what I will discuss with the lawyer tomorrow. We must find a way of fine-tuning these things. It certainly mustn't be an excuse that, because in other times, even if the president shows up, they will tell him to please step aside. Because people have authority over certain things at certain times. Let me explain. I watched a movie about 30 years ago, The Towering Inferno. Now, in that movie, it was a new building was being launched. It was about 1-something floors. The mayor was at the last floor. The party was going on at the last floor. And the fire chief said he would like them to move to the ground floor. Now, the owner of the building, who is a close friend of the mayor, he didn't want to move because how can you move a party currently? He knew that's the end of the party. He was more concerned with his image. So the mayor now wanted to give the fire chief an order that I'm a mayor of this city. We are not moving. You know what the fire chief told him? He said, "Where there is a fire, I'll trank you." I've watched this movie a long time ago, but I haven't forgotten. Said, "Sir," he quoted it, said, "Where there is a fire, I'll trank everybody." So I give the orders here, and the man, he succumbed. So we need to do things like this. It's quite embarrassing to read in the front pages of a newspaper that a current governor went to evacuate his predecessor so that he could not be arrested, and then the following day you now declare him wanted. Why couldn't I believe?
What do you think the EFCC should have done?
I don't know.
Instead of declaring wanted.
I don't know. I need a lawyer to explain that. But I'm saying that the man, Bello was in his personal house and not government house.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought that they have the authority to move in and do the needful, in spite of the fact that the governor is present.
Yes. So the report said that the police people were there as well. And the police people, of course, armed, and they were there to protect Yahaya Bello. And the EFCC rightly said that they had to be very diplomatic about the entire thing, so it doesn't cause any breakdown of law and order. That's what I'm saying. We
need to enforce laws. That's why I used the example of that fire chief when they said, "Where there is a fire, I will trank you." The Attorney General has to come to explain to us who has a higher rank in this kind of situation. have gone to arrest somebody in his own house, and the governor happens to be present, it's not the government house.
It's not the government house.
It's not the government house. But our security people are in tatters. You know, they're always fighting themselves, and we've turned the whole thing into a racket. People, they don't understand what it is to ensure the whatever of your principal. The EFCC, the head of that EFCC unit, should have been able to make a call to the most senior policeman there and tell you guys get out of that place.
Even make a call to IG.
IG, yes.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that things happened pretty fast on that day.
No, it didn't happen pretty fast. Let's call a spade a spade. It's because of the influence that Yahaya Bello himself has. People are sympathetic towards crime. We are sympathetic, even as a government. If you're a friend of the government, we are all sympathetic towards crime. We don't have that zeal. That's what it is. That's what it is. The EFCC have to be careful, because how am I sure that the EFCC that went to arrest Bello themselves had not been compromised?
How do you mean? Compromising?
Exactly what I said.
I mean, they went there to arrest him.
It is a suggestion. I'm not saying that I know, but part of what the feedback I get to myself is that could it have been that the EFCC who went to arrest the man were compromised and used that as an excuse? He escaped now.
Well, he was with the governor.
So
the governor used his protective custody.
Did the governor wrap his
He was in the governor's vehicle.
1 second, please,
sir. Sir.
1 second, please, sir. Did the governor wrap his agbada around him?
It was in the governor's vehicle.
So the governor's vehicle cannot be stopped?
Yes, it cannot.
But he moved from his house into the vehicle.
Even though CP Mbu stopped Amechi one time in Port Harcourt.
You see, we need to get to the bottom and have some protocol regime that doesn't allow this to happen. Because we need to recognize that most of our leaders do not behave well in times like this. It's preposterous that what you are saying, in effect, is that a governor allowed a suspected criminal escape.
Yes, that's it.
If I was running a newspaper, that's a headline I would use.
That's what happened.
Governor helps suspected criminal escape, because the EFCC have alleged that he has committed a crime.
That's right.
Is that the kind of country we want to run? And then you went and got these innocent young people. I call them innocent because for the lure of money, they could have gotten themselves killed over nothing. Supposing a fight ensued between the EFCC and the governors, whatever, with all these young boys caught in between. Did you hear of any young Yahaya Bello amongst them? No. Did you hear of the son of the governor who was amongst them? No. Yet, you see, we're able to pick 50 young people, maybe some of them even well-educated, to go and shout, hey, for somebody who is suspected to have stolen billions of naira.
Of impoverishing them.
The money that was supposed to use as scholarships and whatever to feed them, okay, even at the very worst, to provide palliatives, which in itself is insulting. This job is going to run some of us crazy if we don't. And now it's now laughable. You now say that Yahaya Bello is on the watch list. Immigration alerts DSS and so on and so forth. Who are you fooling? This thing is like a pantomime. It's like watching a play at night. This is entertainment. After he slipped under your very eyes, now you're not saying that you're putting him on the watch list. Immigration on the alert, and the DSS, we're alerting the DSS.
I think EFCC did the right thing by allowing him to go.
Well, given the circumstances, yes, but the system shouldn't have allowed it. I'm not blaming them. I mean, in fact, I'm saluting their maturity. But the system should strengthen that kind of authority in this kind of instance. If you run into Buckingham Palace, does that mean you're going to escape justice in the United Kingdom? No. If you run into number 10, that one is even easier. It's the number 10 people that will catch you and hand you over. But even from a moral, shouldn't the governor be concerned about he's going to need these monies to roll?
Do you think the Nigerian politicians care?
No, they're not. We need to even test the nationality of some of our politicians, whether they're true, whether they're true Nigerians, because they can be so insensitive. They don't care. They don't give a damn.
It's almost like they don't feel any connection.
They don't feel anything. How can you, a governor, get up from Kogi and drive down, leave governance? Abba. I can't imagine Mobolaji Johnson doing that. I can't imagine. I can't even imagine Bola Ige doing so. Or Professor Ambrose Ali. You know? I can't. That's why when we say that, a lot of our politicians are all these boys' quarters boys. That's part of what we're saying. It's a reflection of their background. How can I go and protect a suspected criminal as a governor? I should be able to say, sorry, sir, there's not much I can do. You tell him, no, go with them. He got up and no. It's all over, I'm telling you.
It's all over.
It's all over about the shouting. It's all over. We've gone far too down in the pits. But we are the ones who during the elections we saw all the signs. Even in the case of Kogi, we saw all the signs that this man was planted there by this gentleman. We ignored them. Nobody was able to get up in Kogi State as an elder to gather people and say, look, let's do the right thing. That's what you get. Next story. Yeah.